You got enough chords over
Oh, wait,
here?
do I need to get the list out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should get the list
Oh, I
You should-
forgot that's what we were waiting
You should get
for.
the list out.
Okay. So excited. Hi, guys. Welcome back to my podcast. It's Aaron Bailey Biggs and Isabel Bailey Biggs and Kylie Ann Barnes here interviewing the Gen Z with... Wait.
The
what
Gen
are you?
X.
Gen X. With the Gen X. Boom. There's your intro.
Welcome to the No Direction Podcast, where we say whatever we want and invite guests who do the same. We're here to prove that conversations can be raw, real, and sometimes downright hilarious, even when we don't see eye to eye. So buckle up, grab a drink, and let's dive into the unfiltered world of opinions and insights. It's going to be a bumpy, profanity-laden ride.
Yeah.
Wow, you
Or we
have a
can,
lot.
Or we
But
can,
it's like
both
some
pitch
of
in
So-
our own.
Mean the same thing.
Today, so we're I have spoken to you guys before about just different generations, right? And so I would argue that I'm part of, Gen X, or what they call a geriatric millennial, which
You're
I
Gen
hate
X.
that.
Or Gen Z.
You're
Yeah,
Gen
but
Z.
I feel like what's before Gen X?
Boomers.
No, it's not boomers.
No,
it's
it's
something else.
I don't know. It's something
I
else.
thought you were before that.
No, because millennial technically goes to like 1980,
Oh,
and
so
I'm
it's-
81, but I don't claim to be a millennial.
It's boomers.
I claim to be a
millenn-
Gen Xer.
It's boomers, then millennials.
Are you
then
thinking
Gen
zennials?
X,
Are you? Oh,
and then Gen Z. Yeah.
no. So millennials, Gen X comes before millennial. It goes millennial, Gen Z.
Okay, I don't
Right?
think we should do that one. Because everyone knows that.
Yeah.
That's not true. Not everybody knows that.
I don't think we should do that one.
Okay. But I think the rest of these are fine.
So you guys are going to teach me how to communicate to Gen Zers.
Yeah.
So you brought with you some, like, what, buzzword slang. We'll talk
Yeah,
slang.
slang.
Some slang that
Yeah.
you guys use. Okay. I don't know, can we use it in a sentence too?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
explain it on how it would be used.
Okay.
I couldn't.
So what do we have going? Okay, so this is the No Direction Podcast, and today we're talking to two Gen Zers, and they are going to decode some Gen Z slang words for us. So I have my daughter Isabel and her friend Kylie, and they came up with a list. They came up with a list of terms that I may not fully understand that they thought that me as a 40-year-old, as a Gen Xer, should know. So what's the first one? What's your first buzzword?
Do you want to go first?
Oh, we're gonna do that one first.
No, I don't care. You pick.
Mm,
Why don't you just start with the top one?
no, I want to choose one.
Okay.
Do
Why is it that big of a
Okay.
deal? Okay.
you know what a globe is?
A globe?
A glow up.
A glow up.
Yeah.
Isn't that where you, like a makeover, where you make someone look prettier? Or
Kind of, yeah.
yeah, where they go
like,
from...
oh, she had a glow up like over quarantine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like she got out of puberty, or he.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use it for a he too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they, the awkward puberty age, and then right after that, where they're kind of an older teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, over
Okay.
the summer, if you went back to school and you saw someone, you'd be like, oh, they had a glow up.
Okay.
Like, they look better than they
So
did
instead of
before.
being a gangly preteen, now they're a
baddie.
baddie.
A
Okay.
better looking person.
A better looking person. Okay.
Do you know what a simp is?
No.
Okay, so
Simp. How do you spell it?
SIMP.
Simp. Okay.
simp is like in a relationship you can use it for boy or girl. And
Okay.
it's like someone that just puts their significant other first. So like if a group of people's all going out and I'm like, actually I'm gonna go hang out with my boyfriend instead, Isabel would be like, you're such a simp.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like bros
Yeah.
before hoes.
Yeah.
No, it's the other
It's
way.
the other way around,
It's hoes
though.
before bros.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship.
And people say simp like, yeah, like you could just be obsessed with someone and they'll call you a simp.
Yeah. Like, you could be falling, head over heels for someone, and
they're
they're
like,
you're
"You're
so
such a
So
simp.
So simp is like being sappy for somebody,
Yeah.
or like
I'm
falling for
simping
somebody
over whatever.
and
yeah.
you're choosing them over your friends. So clearly you're not thinking straight. So you're
obviously.
simp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You choose.
You know what a furry is?
A furry? No.
So a furry is someone who identifies or looks like an animal and will wear like animal tails and stuff.
Ears.
So
animal ears.
So is this a self-identification thing, or
Yes,
is this
it's
something
like-
like somebody's extra hairy, so you're
No.
calling
Oh,
them a
no,
furry?
this is self thing.
It's
Like, they
like-
clip tails on, and they put ears on, and sometimes they have, like, masks that, like, open, like
They
animals.
identify as an animal.
Yeah.
So like instead of identifying as like she, him, they, them, it's an animal.
So why do you think people identify as animals? Do you think it's easier, more simple, less
No, I think
responsibility?
they're just not
I think they were
comfortable.
dropped as babies. You know, it's legal. It's legal It's legal to shit in parks
Yeah.
as long as you clean up after yourself.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. They made
Stop.
that legal 2 years ago.
No, that's like so back in my day, if you exposed yourself in a park, you would have to register as a sex offender.
No.
So that's not a thing as long as you're a furry.
No, you can be whoever you are, and if you go to
So
the
even if
bathroom-
you're not a furry, you can take a shit.
yeah,
So you can identify as a he, she, them, they, it,
Caesar.
Quasimodo, whatever, furry, and you can go,
shit in a park as long as you clean up after yourself.
I'll show you
It's
a
legal.
furry video after this.
ew. Okay. No, that's,
Now I have to look this up to prove that.
you're going to prove it to me? All right, what's the next word? Well, she's looking that up.
No cap.
No cap. I don't.
Okay.
I've heard it used, but I
No
don't.
cap means that's no lie. So cap means lie.
Cap means lie. No
Yeah.
cap
Yeah.
means
That's not,
not a lie.
So if someone's like, that's cap.
Like, so no cap is like for real.
Like, for real, that's no lie.
Okay. Isn't there another version of cap? There's cap, no cap, and then there's something else. Isn't there? Or no?
I don't.
Okay, maybe I'm just a confused older person.
It says no person should leave any bodily discharge. Should leave it in the park. It should be in a waste, like it says, in a designed place for waste disposal purpose.
A designated place?
Yeah.
It's all right. You
know
teach
what I
me your
mean.
words, I'll teach you my words.
You know what I mean.
Okay, so that's a new. I haven't heard of that one
No
before.
cap.
That's
Or you could just say
fun.
cap. Like, Isabel's like, oh, I want to be
So
a
that was no
furry.
cap.
That was no cap.
Okay,
Yeah.
no cap. You
No
can
cap.
for real
Yeah.
shit in the middle of a park
You're
as
not-
long as you take care of your own feces.
Yeah. You could pretty much use a doggy bag.
Gross.
Yeah.
So
Should we go test it out after this?
I think
No,
so.
not
At
it.
Sunset.
100% not it. Mm-mm. But it's illegal to be in the park after sunset. So is it
What?
is it legal to be in the park to go to the bathroom if it's after sunset, even though you can't be in the park?
Is
after
there still a
sunset?
curfew these days?
When
It's
this-
not necessarily a curfew. It's
There
just
was
they-
one
the
during COVID.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah, parks close.
No.
When the sun goes down, that's when a park closes.
Yeah,
So like,
Huh.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh. What goes with no cap is no kizzy.
So no cap and no kizzy is like the same thing.
But
Like,
but if
it's another
something's a
way-
lie, you could say cap, but don't say just kizzy. Like if someone's lying, you're like, oh, that's cap, but you can't say, oh, that's kizzy, because that's just weird. So it's
Okay.
only no kizzy.
Only no kizzy,
Yeah.
not regular.
Just
so
kizzy,
only
yeah.
only kizzy in the negative, or okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep. If it's, yeah.
okay, no cap.
Do you know what we're gonna scrap means?
It's fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that was.
You
that
can
was,
also do this one then.
That was something way back in the day. Like if you were
Really?
scrappy, yeah,
Yeah.
like people, if they were scrappy, they were, you didn't want to mess with them because they were like crazy and they would be the type of fighter that would rip your eyes out or
Like
scratch your face.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
So going with we're gonna scrap is throwdown.
Right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't think that's a new word you guys made up.
We didn't make that up.
But
No.
you asked about slang.
I did. I did ask about slang.
That,
Specifically to your generation, though. Why are you using my generation slang?
But this is stuff that we say.
Okay. Facts.
You stole it from
Facts.
yours.
No cap.
No kizzy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, snatch.
Kizzy, faux shizzy. No.
Facts.
Facts. No.
Do you know what snatched is?
Snatched. Like to grab something?
No, like
Like you snatched my weave?
no.
Like,
Oh, she's snatched.
Oh.
Like, she got a body.
She's got that.
She's got
all
that
of
hourglass.
that thing.
Snatched?
Yeah.
Snatched.
It's
Okay.
mainly kind of referred to your waist. Like if you just see a girl with a big butt, you're not like, oh, she's snatched.
Okay,
It's
so,
like
so if
waist.
they've got like an hourglass
Yeah.
body, the kind that you put into a corset,
Yes.
she's snatched.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if she's got that dumpy, it's. You said
No.
yes. I don't want to say it.
No, you got that.
No, you got. I just did one.
That's
So
your favorite word.
I believe
it
in
goes
you.
with yours.
you're supposed to pick off from where I left off. Go ahead.
No.
Richard.
Why are you scared?
No, she got that because she's really good at saying it.
I want to hear you try to say it.
No.
Okay.
It's Kylie's
It's
word.
spelled. No, it's a lot of people's words these days. It's Gyatt. It's pronouncing gyat.
Yacht?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. So
What's
if someone
so
has
funny?
a big butt, you're like,
Yeah.
gyat. Yeah.
Oh, like you would say yeah to a horse kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to get the T a little bit. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
Kind of sounds
Yeah.
like it's like yacht with a G.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's when a girl has a big butt, but then when she has that small waist, she's snatched.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like either one of those words.
I like yeah.
I like
They both sound very negative.
Oh.
You know what Solo. I was
Solo?
obsessed. You know what YOLO means, right?
Yes. YOLO.
Okay. Yeah.
You only live once. YOLO.
YOLO.
We live by that.
Yeah.
Do you?
Everything we do.
That's
is just
why.
YOLO.
Yeah.
Mm. Cool. Is that why you take so many naps?
Ooh, fishes.
Yes.
Yeah. We just talked about this at the.
Yes. But go ahead and explain it to me.
Okay, catfish is like. Let's say you see a girl wearing like a bunch of makeup and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on, like you see a post. She posts something. She has a bunch of makeup on, and then you see
Or
her.
a filter.
Yeah, and then you see her in person, and she's just like the ugliest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like looks like a rat.
Like
Yeah.
she's catfishing you.
Yeah.
Wow. I like how you guys are like so negative. Like all the words you're choosing or the examples you're choosing are just super negative to your own sex. Like you
Yeah.
should be like more power to you,
We don't-
female.
No one has slang that's. Yes, queen.
There's like.
Wait, what's it called?
There's no positives. I don't think there's like a bunch of positive slang.
No, there's
I
not.
think it's all to like explain people.
Yeah.
But it seems very female oriented.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean-
Well, every example you guys have given.
I mean, it really is.
Well, throwdown
But-
goes with boys and girls.
Sure.
Glow up.
Mm-hmm.
Catfish.
Yeah, but glow up is positive, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Glow down. There's a glow down.
Well, see, but
That's the negative
Isabel
version.
explained catfish to me using a female example. You use the word
guys
gyat, right? Gyat
Yeah.
as a lady with a large ass.
I guess it could be a guy too, because I say
And
it's a guy.
snatched,
Yeah, you
and
did.
snatched was definitely a female.
Okay, but like
It's just an interesting observation.
you don't
that-
see a lot of people that catfish, like males that catfish.
Unless it's like a bad catfish where they like act like a female.
But there's catfishing where it's not about looks though too. It's catfishing because isn't catfishing essentially lying about who you are to get somebody, and then
Yeah,
once
yeah,
you get
pretty
them,
much.
it's basically like not an imposter, but like being a sus. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And we'll get to that word in a second. But it's more like just what is it called when people are scamming you? Like they're true life. The heck is that word?
Scamming you. I don't know.
It's catfishing.
Getting
Like,
robbed.
Well, yeah. It is catfishing.
and it doesn't even.
But
happen.
and people are screaming at me right now, like I know the word you're thinking of, and I can't think of the word.
Yeah.
It's like people do it professionally. They're professional scam artists, or you know what I mean? I can't think of the word. But that's essentially what catfishing is, right? You're telling somebody what they want to hear in order to gain their trust and get them over to your side when that's not really who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's sus?
Suspicious.
It's just another way
Don't
of
be
saying
suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, we just say
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
We're just saying what? Drum time. We just say sus because it's funny, and because it was in Among Us.
Okay, so they're being suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sus.
Yeah. Or if
Okay.
like someone's like walks in the room a weird way. Sus.
Okay, sketchy, suspicious. All right.
I don't know how to explain that.
Zesty.
Zesty. Spicy?
No, like
In a person,
oh,
spicy.
Spicy person.
like someone that's gay.
Somebody that's gay
Yes,
is zesty.
that's what zesty
Yeah.
means.
Zesty. So they have a spice for life or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they don't actually necessarily have to be gay. It's kind of just like sassiness too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even like used in like a rude way.
Yeah,
just a
it's
way
not
of
like, oh, you're zesty.
explaining.
It's like if someone's standing like with the
Like, ooh, you're spicy.
Yeah,
You're
they
zesty.
say zesty. Yeah.
All right, you're zesty today.
Yeah.
And it could be a daily thing, right? It doesn't have to be the person all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can walk in the room and go, ooh, that was zesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, ooh,
exactly.
that was sus.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
You're catching on.
Okay, cool.
Which one do you not
Sweet.
know how to?
I'm going to be a cool kid one day.
You know what bussin' means?
No. He's bussin'. Can it be he?
What's your thoughts of like?
What's
what
your
do you
favorite
think?
food?
What's my favorite food? Candy.
What do you
That's bussin'.
like? It's good.
Like
it's,
that's awesome.
really
Bussin'
good.
means
That's
it's
good.
good. Like-
Is it better than awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it better
It's
than
like,
rad?
Yeah.
It's bussin'.
It's bussin'. Like when I
Okay.
try new food, or I'm like, is it bussin' or discussin'? It's
Mhm.
bussin'.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
Bussin' or disgussin'?
we'll take a drink of like Dr Pepper and we'll be like,
Ooh, that's bussin'.
Bussin'. Yeah.
Or we'll
that's
say
me.
that's
That's me in a
bust.
Diet
It
Coke.
also doesn't have to be a
Ooh.
food. Like that nap that I just took was bussin'.
Was bad. Okay, so things that are good or make you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell good, feel good, whatever is bussin'.
Yeah.
Can it be a person? Can that person be bussin'?
No.
No.
Not really. It has to be a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like bussin' or bust. Like
So somebody
that
can't.
nap was so bust.
So somebody can walk in the room and I'm like, ooh, you're awesome.
You're bussin'.
But I can't say you're
No.
bussin'. Okay,
No.
no,
not.
don't mix them.
Don't.
Do not make that mistake.
No.
Okay, no bussin' people.
That's all you.
Okay. That's so burnt. Do you know what that means?
No.
It's like. Actually, now I need to think about how to like describe this. Like
Use it in a sentence.
that's so okay.
That's so burnt.
A kid's running and someone trips the kid. That's so burnt. Like that's just so messed up. That's
dick
so
move.
not right. Yeah.
Okay, burnt is a dick move.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also could be like just gross. Like if you try something that's nasty and you're like not bussin', it's
That's burnt.
so burnt. Like that's not like burnt like the food, but
Oh.
burnt like gross.
Okay.
That's so burnt. Like that not recording is so burnt.
That my video not recording is so burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's burnt spelled BURNT.
Yeah.
Burnt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's cups.
That's cups.
That's cups.
Like that's it. That's enough. I'm actually seriously done.
That's cups.
That's
yeah.
cups.
Like Isabel sends an embarrassing photo of me to my booth thing. I'm like, that's cups. Like actually no more. I'm done.
Gotcha. So that's like, I'm serious,
Yeah.
for real.
The dog bit me while playing with the toy. That's cups. Like actually stop.
Those are very specific examples.
She uses that as an everyday thing.
Yeah. Well, when you use it too much, people think you're kidding. Don't they?
Using that's cups.
Yeah.
I actually don't say that's cups very much.
So last night when I pissed Isabel off because I was trying to kiss her on the cheek, she should have said that's cups.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it meant at the time. So.
Yeah.
It was pissing me off because I didn't want to be touched and you would not listen to me.
I know, because I needed a kiss.
Well, I didn't want to be touched.
Factor
I
cap.
know, but I like kissing your face.
Fact.
Cap. Sus. That's actually everything off of our list.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more things we say. I just can't think of it. Like, it just comes out.
It just, yeah, like you don't think about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to train the older generation how to talk like you.
Yeah, it is. They just don't understand. They don't understand a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like social media, a lot of people just like...
There's a lot of kids your age that don't understand social media. You know how many people that
That's
are
not
your
true.
age that I have taught social media to?
Our age as in 16?
Yeah.
Or our age as in like 20?
Your age as in 16.
Who have you taught?
I don't know. Why you gotta drill me like that?
Well, I mean, I just didn't believe you.
So what I think is that we are very similar. So what I mean by that is that every single generation kind of thinks that the other generation, so like your generation thinks the generation that became before it is old and antiquated and doesn't really understand, right? Which is what I thought about the generation before me. And the generation before me hated the clothes we wore.
Yeah.
My generation hates the clothes you wear. You know, so it's like every generation has a thing. My generation hates your generation's music, some of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, my parents'
I love your
generation
generation's music.
hated our music, and their parents' generation hated their music. You know, so it's like
Yeah.
every single generation, and we never remember that every generation kind of comes up with their own thing, right? So
Yeah.
each generation kind of grows a little bit and starts thinking a little bit more for themselves. So like the boomer generation, which is like your grandparents' generation, they started thinking for themselves. And you guys are going to make me yawn. So they started thinking for themselves and started like protesting things that they thought was bullshit, right? Which their parents never really did things like that. And so their kids learned from that and started taking the protesting a little further. And then each generation did something different, which means that, you know, so we're always frustrated with the next generation because they learned from us and then they decided to take it further.
What do you think next generation's going to be like?
Oh, I have no idea.
I wonder what their clothes are going to be like.
I-
Hopefully it's not like now's.
Well, I
I
think
really
it's-
don't want my child.
Well, you guys are starting to go back
I
to
was
the
gonna say,
90s.
I
Like, you
think
guys are
it's-
wearing what I wore in high school.
Yeah, that's what my mom said, like the Converse and like the
Yeah, all
that
of it.
stuff.
I walk into, what is the Tilly's? Tilly's at the
Yep.
mall. And that every single thing in that store is something that
Yeah.
it copy paste right into the 90s.
That's a good thing.
I think it's funny, everything that we wear now is what you guys used to wear.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
the
it's all
flare
recycled.
leggings.
Yeah, it's all
The
recycled.
flare, I
leggings.
love those, but yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, the flared leggings
checkered-
with white tennis shoes or whatever.
The
and
long socks over the leggings.
Birkenstocks.
Birkenstocks, love those too.
The long socks over the leggings, that came from the 80s. Getting so many, like, spam calls the
I
last
have
couple of days.
too.
It's driving me freaking crazy.
I used to, and then I blocked all.
I have two, but I always answer them because sometimes it's my doctor.
Oh, well, I need to go and block the calls.
Yeah.
They're stupid. Yeah, I don't know what the next generation will be or what their language will be, but I do know that each generation needs to have a little bit of chill for the generation before them and the generation after them. Every generation has their thing and their secrets. Like your grandparents, I'm sure that they have done so much shit that you have no idea about. Your parents, same thing. You guys have done a lot of things that we have no idea about and will continue. And then when you have kids, they'll think that you're dumb and lame because they don't understand you and you don't understand them. Yeah, you think you will.
I want my kids to know everything that I did when I was a teenager.
I want to be very open with my child
I
and
do
know
too.
a lot too.
Yeah.
Like my mom.
Well,
and I.
I think there's a difference between being open with your child and telling them some things that might be inappropriate to share with your own child. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the relationship that you have.
I think the
Yeah.
more.
I mean, you're very open with me, and you tell me a lot of things, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that you don't tell me because you don't want to share with
and you're
me.
a teenager.
Because we don't have that relationship.
Well, I think we have a different relationship than a lot of mom-daughters do.
I keep kicking stuff on accident. I think that the more strict a parent is, the less they're gonna know about anything,
Yeah, the less
and the
that
more
their kids
sneaky
will
their
share.
kid's gonna become.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
Like Bryce thinking putting cameras up and it's going to stop her.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
Yeah.
But he knows that,
Like, I used to sneak out all the time when I was a teenager. All the time.
You know what's actually crazy?
But then I'm pretty sure my parents did too, you know? So
Yeah.
it's not a new thing. You guys aren't inventing new things. You might have different ways to say things, but nothing you're doing is new.
I have never snuck out.
I think I've only snuck out like twice.
I've never snuck out before.
And one of the times I was caught, and that was the last time I snuck out.
See, you guys are doing the same shenanigans we used to do, but now everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your bullying
nothing
is
new.
on a different level. Your people knowing what you're doing is on a different level. Your whole lives are like under a microscope, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a weird time to grow up.
Ever since I got caught sneaking out, I just leave the house now. Like, I just, like,
But
bye.
how old were you when you snuck out?
I think it was, like, 2 years ago.
Okay, well, that's why, because you were young.
Yeah. And it was for the dumbest things, like going to the park.
Yeah. Well, you've built a lot of trust
Like, 'cause
over
there's
the
nothing-
years.
There's nothing to do at the park.
No.
Swing.
Except it's closed, so it seems
Take
cool
a
to
shit.
go to. Yeah, you can go, you can go put as long as you take it out with you.
How many kids did you want? 2.
She has 2,
Oh!
plus a bonus.
I forgot that Anthony didn't come from you.
Couldn't you tell?
Not really. I barely ever saw him. How long was Anthony when you came?
How long was he?
I mean, how tall was he? I mean, how old was he? How old was he when?
Is this the new Gen Z like lingo?
No.
Anthony was he turned 2 a few days after Mike and I's first date.
Oh.
You
So
should-
almost like
you should tell her
Noah.
how you and Dad met.
How we met?
Yeah.
Me and my best friend were supposed to go to prom together, and last minute he decided to bring his sophomore girlfriend. So we were seniors, and he decided to bring his sophomore girlfriend because only juniors and seniors can go to prom, right?
Yeah.
And so he ditched me like 3 weeks before prom. So like all the good dates are gone, if not everybody,
Yeah.
right?
So she had to go to her last resort.
So my other really good friend was dating Mike's best friend, and she came up with some scheme where she could go. She was a sophomore at the time, where she could go to prom and bring her boyfriend, and then I could bring his best friend. That way, her boyfriend didn't, had somebody to hang out with,
They
and so
met-
that's how Mike and I met.
They met on a 2-man to prom.
Do you know what a 2-man is?
They met
There's
on
one.
a 2-man to prom.
That's crazy. You were born a Gen Z.
What's a 2-man?
A 2-man is like when
A double
you-
date.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
But we say it like a 2-man now.
A 2-man.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
2 friends go and hang out with 2 other friends.
Yeah. Usually they're not friends, actually. Let's be real here.
I mean,
No, if
It
you're
depends
hanging out
on
with
who
a group,
asks.
if it's like you and me hanging out with Antonio and we don't even have another guy friend.
okay, but like,
Antonio and someone, we wouldn't be like, oh, there's our 2-man, because absolutely no. No.
no, but like, normally the guys ask
Guys ask what?
the girls to go.
Hang out?
Yeah, and the girls are always together. At least
Okay,
in my
a 2-man is
experience of-
usually not a friend group. Like, there's usually something going on between someone in there.
You're going to hook up.
A double date.
What?
Give her
2-man
the-
isn't...
Give her the raw truth.
2-man's not just hook up. Have you ever heard
Be
of
for real.
anyone that actually goes and hooks 2 on 2 hooks up in the
Yes.
same room? That's absolutely disgusting. You talk to weird people, that's why. That's why you know.
You know who?
Who?
I can't say it.
Yeah,
Sign
don't,
language.
don't throw out people's names on my podcast. Are you gonna try to use sign language?
She did it.
Good job, Isabel.
Nasty. No. Okay, that's because it's her.
Okay, but like,
So no.
So a double date isn't necessarily two couples hooking up in the same room. They like go out to dinner or a movie or something
Yes.
together as a double date.
Yes, you can go to a movie and it can be a 2-man. You don't have to be hooking up for it.
Right.
Yeah. So, you met your husband on a two-man. How long have you and your husband been married?
Wait, I got this. What year is it? 2023? They've been married for 22 years. This year's 23.
This year's 22.
This year's 22. That's my bad. Wow. They were married in 2001. Were you 19 or 20?
We're 20. We couldn't drink at our wedding.
They got married at 20.
What's it like being a Gen Zer in high school today?
Terrible.
We don't go to high school.
I know. Why? Tell me why.
Because I hate everyone's super mean.
Everybody's super mean.
Yes.
Why do you think it is? And is it just the girls or is it the boys too?
Oh, it's boys
too.
So why do you think it is that people are like cannibalizing each other? Just like
because they want to have more people on their side and look powerful.
They want to look cool.
But I don't feel like that's the way it was when I was in high school.
Oh, that's how people get cool, by being scary and having a big friend group.
But it was like, okay, so when I went to high school, in the movies, they portrayed these mean girl groups, like the movie Mean Girl,
yeah,
right?
That's
so
how it is now.
No, that's actually how it is now.
I know, but when I went to high school, I didn't see that at all. Yes, there were certain people who were assholes, and there were fights and things like that, but I feel like it's just exponentially more difficult to be a teenager today in a high school.
And with social media now, it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are kind of assholes, right?
Yeah, people, because they think they can just say anything behind the screen and act like they're not going to see you at school.
Right.
Or maybe they don't see you at school, but you see them eventually.
Right.
Yeah, like there's these kids at Barlow that have an Instagram page and take screenshots of things on your Instagram
and I've
page
been posted on it.
And post about it and say a bunch of rude stuff.
Yeah, and it's like people I've never even had a conversation with at school. And then I left Barlow and they posted like 4 things of me. And then,
like,
yeah.
She posted a picture of her in her swimsuit somewhere. And they zoomed
in California.
They zoomed in and took a screenshot of her butt and then posted it as just a post and said a bunch of rude stuff. Like
nasty stuff. And then they made a huge group chat and didn't put me in it and then started saying disgusting things.
Yeah.
In there.
Wow.
And then they made
awful.
another post just talking crap about me, not even like posting.
And these are like really good athletes.
Yeah,
like
these are varsity players.
Athletes.
So why don't you guys turn them in?
Because school didn't start yet. Now that school started, I have everything saved though.
Good for you. You can still turn stuff in. You know who I would turn it into? I'd start just emailing their coaches.
Well, the thing is that
that's
the coach
that's going to be more painful than emailing the school.
The coach to the person that runs the account was my school counselor, and I had a really hard time with school because I missed it a lot for doctor's appointments, and so he likes me a lot, and so I could go to him easily because.
So you have a professional relationship with his school counselor, so you could go to
which is his varsity coach.
So you can go to the school counselor and say, hey, these guys are doing this thing. One thing that I really hate, and I think that too many school administrators are doing this, is they will protect people if they are performers, right? So if the student can if the teacher or the administrator can benefit from the student's performance, whether it's academic or in sports or in arts, right? If the teacher or the administrator can benefit from that student's activities and the fact that they're great at something, that student will get a slap on the wrist. If that student is not providing value to the teacher, that student will get in more trouble.
Yeah.
Which isn't fair, because what it just does is everybody should be punished in the same way.
It proves
right?
that there's favorites.
Yes. And
most of the meanest people at Barlow are on athletic teams.
Right. Yeah. And it's been throughout the entire history of people living is that there's always favorites, right? And which really sucks because punishment should be the same for everybody, right? So if you do like a certain thing, like posting pictures of your ass on their Instagram page and degrading you and calling you names, there should be the same punishment for everybody involved. But it's not going to be the same punishment for everybody involved because some people in there are favorites or their parents have influence over somebody somewhere. Yeah. I know as a parent of teenagers, if my child is a dick and does something like that, I want you to punish them the same way that you would punish anybody. I don't care if they're high performers. I don't care if you're getting something out of them. If expulsion is the punishment that meets the crime, then punish them, because my child isn't going to learn if you constantly
just threaten,
navigate around,
whatever,
or if you navigate around the punishment, because my child has to learn from their actions. It's like those people who their adult children do things illegal, but they refuse to turn them in, right?
Yeah.
It's like they need to do the time for their crime. Otherwise, they're never going to learn, and they're continuing to be these bottom feeders in our community, and it's gross.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that's happening to you. I know that social media can be both good and really bad depending on who is wielding the social media power. And I think if we get to the point, and it's taken me a really long time, and I'm still learning this, but if we can get to the point where our own actions are such that people who do things behind our backs isn't going to bother us, which is really fucking hard. And if people say bad things about me, it's going to bother me, right? They say sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words fucking suck.
Words hurt more than
I mean, break my bone will heal, and I'll get over it. But it's like women who are in abusive relationships, right? When they can show physical harm, then they get help faster.
Yeah.
But if there's no physical harm and it's all mental, and people are just dragging them down and tearing them down constantly, and you can't prove that they are abusing you, they're not going to get the help they need. However, the ones that need the most help are the ones that are being mentally tortured, the ones that are being told that they're not good enough, that they can't go anywhere else, that they can't work, and they fully rely on their husbands or their significant others to do everything for them. Those are the ones that really need the most help. Because you can't see their pain. And that really fucking sucks.
Yeah, a lot of people also just use social media because you can make it an anonymous account. Like, it comes out. Or, like, there was a girl that was writing a bunch of stuff about me at Barlow, but she did not text me personally. She had her friend copy and paste what to say to me. I mean, she got caught copying and pasting it, so it just proved that it was her. But, like, people have their way. Because she's on sports teams. She doesn't want to get in trouble, stuff like that. But then she just had her friend.
Well, if you don't want to get in trouble, stop being a dick.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to get in trouble, then stop doing things that make you be in trouble.
Yeah.
And if you can't stop getting in trouble, and if you can't stop being a dick, think hard on the inside. Like, what is your damage, and why are you seeking attention, and why are you seeking it in such a negative way? Like, start leaning in and fix yourself, because I truly believe and have seen from experience that people who are bullies, the worst bullies, are the ones who are getting shit at home, right? It doesn't mean that we should feel sorry for them, but it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be punished for being a bully. Right? There's plenty of people who are abused who are good, decent people. That's not an excuse. However, usually if a bully's being a bully, they're screaming for help, right? So how can we both help the victim first and then go and say, hey, bully, like, what's going on over here? Why are you being a dick?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, and social media just amplifies that. I mean, I've seen it on social media. I've gotten it before.
But also the favoritism actually is such a big deal now that I really think about it, about, like, the sports thing.
Yeah.
Like, when I was at Barlow, there was a kid that took his cologne and sprayed it all the way down my straw. But obviously I didn't know. And then I drank it. And then told the teacher, obviously, but, varsity basketball player. But, so.
Right. Yeah. And they think what they're doing is cute or funny, and it's not fucking cute or funny. As a woman, I am tired of boys being protected because boys will be boys. Well, how about you go fuck yourself? And teach your boy how to pay respect. My spaghetti string straps, I don't care if they turn your child on. Your child needs to find a different outlet and maybe not stare at me, because
the same kid that sprayed the cologne was, because we sat like this at a table group.
Facing each other.
Yeah. Taking, what were they called? Paper clips and trying to throw them down my shirt. He actually did end up getting in trouble for that one.
Right.
But
Good.
not the water bottle one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've heard it time and time again. I mean, we all have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing when I was in middle school was boys snapping your bra, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was terrible.
Remember when there was, like, Slap Ass Friday at
Yep.
a school, and it became a big thing because boys were just running around slapping girls' butts, like,
Every Friday.
every Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because the administrators are like, there's nothing I can do about it. And you know why? It's because parents are assholes. If parents started treating their children the way that they want people to treat people who do bad things to them. So, for instance, if my child does something that's dickish, they should get the proper punishment for it, right? And there's so many parents out there that are just, my child can do no harm.
My
you know,
child would
but that
never
was
do
clearly
that.
not my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is your kid. Your kid's an asshole, and you need to stop, protecting him
Yeah.
or her. Yeah, and girls are mean to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy cow! And it's always been that way. Like I was somewhat bullied in high school. I had a really hard time trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And because I didn't know where I fit in. So I had friends in every group, right? I had friends with the jocks and the goths and I had
Emos now.
yeah, I had friends in every group, right? Because I didn't know where I belonged. And some days I'd wear clothes that fit this group, and some days I'd wear clothes that fit this other group. And so there were some girls that I thought were friends of mine in middle school, and when we got to high school, they made fun of me because I couldn't figure out where I belonged, And so it's not making fun of people. That's not a new thing, right? But it's your generation is more vocal and has a higher pedestal and a larger voice with social media and just getting things out there and just being dickish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's awful. I mean, Isabel's told me lots of stories about people just,
Being rude for no reason.
right.
Yeah.
Being bad humans, and it's awful. And it makes you feel gross, you know? The ones that I love are the bullies from high school who reach out to you as a grown adult and just want to have a conversation with you. And they're like, oh, and by the way, you should buy this thing from me.
Like, no.
And it's like,
Absolutely not.
I have not spoken to you since high school.
When you bullied me.
When you bullied me, and now you're like, hey, what's up? You should buy this thing from me. Like, no.
No, I will not be buying your product.
You don't
I'm
deserve
not.
any
My
of that.
money.
Yeah.
My
and
money, my respect, my time.
right. And watch me glow up.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bullies, I have zero patience for bullies. My brother was bullied really bad when he was in middle school. He was a nerd. He's always been a nerd. He's a nerd still. He's a geek. But that is not a reason to bully somebody. Just because you don't understand them or because they're smarter than you or because they act a little bit different than you doesn't mean that you have any right to go and bully them. And he had bullies, and it was awful. And
She told off his bullies for him.
I did. I protected him. And yeah.
Good. My brother would never do that for me.
That's because he doesn't have to. You do it yourself.
Yeah,
Because I raised you
I
to
don't. I'm a little
speak your
tattletale.
mind.
I try to get them suspended. And
You're not a tattletale.
Big
I hate that
trouble.
word. You're not a tattletale.
Oh.
You're a person who's protecting yourself in the only way that you know how.
Yeah.
So if you go and retaliate against these people, now you're the one that gets in trouble because you're the last one that did something.
That's always what happens,
right? That's
too.
what always happens. Also, if they're protected by any sort of school administrator,
Yeah.
then you're the one that's getting in trouble, or they're still sweeping it under the rug, and then they're telling you to stop making such a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
So for you to go to the next adult that can help you, I mean, that's what us as adults try to teach you as kids is go see an adult for help. We will help you.
Mm-hmm.
Not all adults will. You got to find the right one.
Yeah.
But us adults, that's what we're supposed to do, and you have to find the right person who's going to advocate for you. And unfortunately, there are too many out there that are in it for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see it every day, and it's awful.
I never understood that. Ever since like grade school, they tell you like go tell an adult if you are having trouble with someone, then you finally have like work up the courage to do it, and they don't do anything about it.
Right. Because I like the word you used is courage, because it does take a lot of courage to say, I'm hurt, I don't like it, and I need you to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to do that, because I think we're also have been told to suck it up and to deal with it.
That's more like the men. That's what all the guys would say.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is generational. I don't think your generation of men would say that. I think your generation of men would be more like, well, let's do something about it. Whereas your dad and I's generation or older.
Well, that's what I mean. Like.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just deal with it. Okay, well, how am I supposed to deal with it?
Without getting in trouble.
Exactly. Because all I want to do right now is cut a bitch. And so now I'm going to get in more trouble because all they're doing is saying mean words. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I think it's funny that people get in more trouble for verbally, like,
get your foot.
Like, I don't know, verbally talking shit down on someone. They get more in trouble for doing that than like actually getting in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they get in more trouble for talking?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Do you think
I've
like
seen
at
a lot
school?
Of,
I mean,
I've seen a lot of cases where people get in more trouble for the things that they say to each other rather than the fights that actually happen.
Do you think it's because the fights that actually happen are like part of the punishment is getting the shit beat out of you?
I don't know. But
if you start a fight, then the person who you're starting the fight against is definitely a victim. And at that point, they're just protecting themselves, right? I mean, you have a friend who has a big mouth, and that friend has been challenged to many fights, right? And has been kicked out of school a couple of times.
It's not me.
No, so we're not going to name names,
you
right?
know who.
But so anyways, but just because they're an asshole and are loud, the person who instigates the fact that they should fight should be coming up with a better solution. And that might be telling an administrator if they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, but
administrators don't do anything now. So that's why everyone goes to fighting.
That's true.
And a lot of reasons why people don't go and like tell a teacher is because then they get even more hate and everything and bullied for going and telling someone.
Or even if you go and talk to the person yourself. I
Right.
tried that.
So like snitches get stitches type of situation.
Yeah.
That, but
So being in school is kind of like being in prison. It's like prison
no
rules,
matter what
right?
you do, that's wrong.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about school resource officers?
I think we need them.
Mm,
I think we need them.
I don't know. They're okay, but like I just don't see a lot of. I don't know. I see some benefit, but at the same time, I don't see benefit. Because they do the same things as the other teachers, like the teachers that work in student management that like walk the halls and stuff during like in the middle periods and stuff. I feel like the student resource officer does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, they do kind of do the same thing, but the student resource officer is an actual sworn police officer.
It's more scary, I guess you could say. But
well, they also have more authorization to do things, right? So if there's a fight, they can arrest somebody. If somebody brings in drugs, they can bring them in. They have more authorization to do those sort of things. Whereas your school resource officers literally can't do anything, right? All they can do is be a scary presence or a presence.
The school resource officer is the police officer.
Sorry, what I mean is student management. Student management is what I'm talking about. Sorry. Yeah, student management is like a security guard, right?
Yeah.
So the security guards, it's kind of a scary presence. one of the security guards when I went to high school was a former WWE wrestler. So, but yeah, they're more of a scary presence, but the school resource officer has the authority, right, yeah, because they're a sworn police officer. So they actually can enforce the law, whereas the security guards, the student management people, they can't do that. Do you think there's a benefit to that?
But I've never seen the student resource officer do anything that is more than what...
Because no one's going to try it if they're there.
No, but, like, even fights, like, they'll just separate the fight and not doing anything. Same with, like, the people in the student resource office.
Well, that's an interesting question that Kylie has. Do you think that...
I don't think people try anything because the resource officers are there. I don't think someone's going to...
Do you think it's less? Do you feel safer with them there?
Yes.
Like with gun violence and things like that it's a real threat and an actual threat to you?
100%. I think people are actually crazy these days. Like, even with resource officers, people are still going crazy, like stabbing. There's a lot of knife stuff. And people getting let in from other schools into Barlow. Someone at Barlow got expelled for letting in other students and all this stuff.
But there's no, like, letting in. Because during lunch, the doors are unlocked. Anybody could walk in the school.
No letting in, like, when the doors were locked. Like, when it was at that time.
But I'm just saying, like...
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, during the day...
People can come in during lunch.
People...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just the student let them in when all the doors were locked. And you're not supposed to do that. And they didn't go to Barlow, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
So, Isabel, you have mixed feelings about school resource officer. You could keep them or...
I just don't see the difference. I haven't noticed the difference yet.
Okay. But you're not against it.
No, I'm not against it because I just don't see the beneficial part of it.
Okay.
But
and maybe you don't see the beneficial part because you've never been a part of it. Maybe?
I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think neither of us have been to Barlow since we lost our resource officers.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what it's like yet.
But from what I've seen, it's not.
But what have you seen? School just started. We had them last semester.
I thought.
So we had school resource officer when I was in high school, and I was the TA my senior year for the school resource officer, and it was a Multnomah County Sheriff Deputy. So it wasn't a Gresham officer, it was Multnomah County.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my high school experience, as far as violence goes, was much different. Like, school shootings happened sometimes when I was in high school. And they started happening when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
But they have ramped up so much that people don't even report on them anymore. Like, if you Google how many school shootings have happened this year alone, right, in schools, well, school happened at the beginning of the year, and then we had the summer, and now they're restarting. But you would be floored at how many school shootings there have been this year.
I think I saw something that was like in the last year in the U.S. there's been like 205 school shootings, and then like in the U.K. and stuff there's only been like 2 or 3.
Maybe.
Or none.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Is that a dog?
That's
yeah.
the dog downstairs.
That's the little dog downstairs. So it doesn't. School shootings don't happen in Europe and really anywhere else. They happen.
Other countries.
It
very
is
rare.
a uniquely American thing, and I believe a lot of it has to do with mental health, and not getting the right help when people need it, when it's identified,
Mm-hmm.
So during, I think it was during the Reagan administration. I might be wrong on that, but they kind of did away with a lot of the mental health facilities. And so they stopped doing the mental health facilities in the way that they used to, which I think they needed more regulation, right? Less zappy of the brain and less drilling of the brain hole, and more actually working on their mental health status. Did you just hit your head?
Yeah, I heard the thump, so it made me laugh. I'm so sorry. I have to cut that out.
Right. Well, and then I just think mental health has been so taboo for people, especially people I grew up with. They're like, what do you mean mental health? Just suck it up. And I think it's good to talk about and get it out, you know? I mean, seeking a therapist when you need professional opinions and professional support.
Yeah.
And I think that is a huge reason why there's so many school shootings. I personally don't believe it's a gun control thing.
Mm-mm.
I personally believe that it is a mental health thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I also think a lot of mental health stuff has to do with social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
sure. But social media
social
also
media.
happens in Europe,
Yeah.
right? And so what is the difference between, what are they doing different than what we're doing? And they do have different gun control laws. They do.
They have more hostage situations in Australia.
Really?
Oh, really?
Have you heard this story?
Uh-uh.
Like right at the end of last school year in Australia, there was this girl that went to a sleepover with her 3 friends. No, they were at her house. There was no parents home,
Oh.
and she thought it was her friends, and they went over there, and
Yeah.
for hours straight abused her, and like cut her,
Stabbed her like
and,
5 times and beat her up.
I heard about that. And
It
she
was-
died, right?
No,
Nope,
Oh.
she
survived.
lived.
They tortured her?
Mm-hmm.
But
there was
then-
another girl that happened to like 20 or 30 years ago, but she died.
This is recent, and the
this
girls
is
that
really recent.
beat her and stuff have recordings.
They were posting videos,
and they didn't go to
after.
jail or anything, so they kept posting about her after.
So after they were posting on their social media saying it's not that big of a deal. Why are you guys making us look like?
And then someone off their social media found out where they lived and caught their house on fire.
Yeah, they lit their house on fire. One of the girls.
So do you guys watch those videos, or do you choose not to watch them so they don't get the fanfare that they're looking for? So for me, if I come across a video that I think is gross and disgusting, I immediately
Gross and disgusting, meaning like a sad story like that?
no, something that somebody is trying to
Like bullies.
benefit off of somebody else's pain.
You
know?
So it wasn't what I saw. It wasn't directly posted off of their social media.
I saw it was a screen recording.
Yeah, it was
like
screen-
someone screen recorded her video and then posted on their account.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So she's not getting clout, the person that
So you
screen
watched
recorded
it for curiosity's sakes,
Yeah.
well, your social media is your news channel,
Yes.
right? And if it was on the news, you would watch it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
It was
Makes
crazy
sense.
to watch.
It was actually.
Like my stomach hurt.
I'm sure.
That reminded me of
And they were
when I-
young too, right?
Yeah,
they were
like
12 and 13.
13s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing happened. The girl I was telling you about, I
Yeah.
can't remember the timeline. It had to have been 20 or 30 years ago, but same age group.
Mhm.
And it was like 2 or 3 girls who just abused her and then stabbed the shit out of her, and she ended up dying.
Well,
And they
walked her home. They walked her home, and when
No,
she
it
showed
was
up,
in her house.
No,
Her
she-
mom found her when her mom came home.
oh, I
they
heard that
found
they
her in
walked
her
her
house.
home, and then the mom didn't recognize her because her face was so puffy.
No, when her mom came home, her mom found her, didn't recognize who it was,
Dang.
and then
What the heck?
like they locked her in like a room for hours, and then they were like beating
Well, then there
the
was
crap out of her.
that Tristan Bailey case.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. Where was that at though?
I don't know.
Did you hear about that though?
Uh-uh.
The
I
teenage
didn't.
boy that went to high school with this girl Tristan Bailey, and she was like a cheerleader and all this stuff.
Oh, I saw that one.
And then convinced her to sneak out the night before Mother's Day, and there's Ring cameras. They like walked together into a forest, and he pretty much stabbed her to death, and then walked back, and then his mom washed his clothes for him, so she was kind of in it, like she knew what he did, and then
There you go with your parents protecting the kids.
he got questioned, and then the mom acted like she didn't know anything, and with like someone questioning right here with the mom and then the son, she was like, well, on someone's camera it shows you walking with her, and then like it was like this big thing, but he ended up Aiden Fucci was the kid's name, but he's in jail and all that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, the true crime stuff is fascinating. I mean, Isabel knows I watch a podcast called the My Favorite Murder podcast.
We listened to it on the way to
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm fascinated not by the murder, but I'm fascinated by what's going on in that person's brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why is it satisfying to them, or why? I mean, some of them it's not even satisfying. It's just they feel like it's a service that they're providing to humanity by killing this person. You know, and there's like so many different thought processes and reasons why people do this, and it's, to me, it's that is fascinating. It's the mindset and what's going on in their brain. Yeah,
they were only 14. The
Aiden
Tristan Bailey thing.
Yeah, which is insane. Yeah.
Like, they're so
I just don't
young.
understand,
Like, what's going on in their head?
I wonder if, like, the mom got in trouble at all. Like, she knew about it. She washed his clothes for him. All that stuff.
I hope she did.
And then lied and said she didn't know. So how is she... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I
So
don't see a
I know
follow-up
that there's a
from the mom.
husband-wife thing where if a husband or a wife commits a crime, they can't interview the opposite spouse and forget what the wording is called, but basically they can't use the other spouse unless they come forward. They can't use an interview with them to accuse or to
get information,
get information from. Yeah, because there's like a confidentiality thing there, which I always was very curious about and not entirely sure why that's a thing. I don't know. Yeah, social media is crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the right call is for the school resource officers. I know as a parent, I feel safer having them there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just having their presence there probably lowers the physical harm to people.
I don't know. I just don't feel like teenagers these days are going to actually start a fist fight right in front of a resource officer, or instead of even in front of a student management.
Sure.
But it's just an extra person there.
Right. Yeah.
Because student management gets busy with kids that get sent to student management.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, and it's just like police officers on the street, right? I mean, we're seeing right now crazy traffic because we don't have enough police officers to have a traffic team. And so there's all kinds of people running red lights and being idiots and speeding and passing where they wouldn't have even 3 years ago. And so we're seeing the effect that has had just on traffic, not to mention just crime in the area. And so just having their presence there kind of lowers the crime. And I think there's probably statistics out there about that. But
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for being on my podcast with me.
Of course.
Thank you for agreeing. I had people say, what? Your daughter agreed to be on your podcast?
Duh,
I was like, I know, because I think it's not on video. I think is that what you agreed?
If it was on video, I don't know if I would do it. I'd get too nervous.
Yeah. I feel like I'd just get nervous, knowing I'm being videoed.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I decided not to do the video.
It's more
portion
comfortable
of it.
just talking.
Yeah, I think so too.
And being able to tip in my chair and stuff like that.
Tip back in your chair
and
just
yawn and smack my head on the walls
and constantly be moving. If people could see you guys and how much you move constantly.
Starting getting antsy once we hit, I don't know when, but
yeah, get a little antsy. Can't sit down for a whole movie.
No.
Got to constantly be on your phone. I don't know how many times you guys check your phone.
She doesn't.
I actually did really good though.
She did, but she actually doesn't watch movies or shows. She sits there and she goes on her phone, or she watches TikTok in the middle of watching a movie.
I can't watch a full movie. That's why I don't go to movie theaters.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't watch movies with my mom. Is I get bored halfway through. Like when I watch a movie by myself, I pause it halfway through, and then I go on my phone for a while, and then I continue watching it.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Is it ASMR time?